Hey guys, Jacob over here. Welcome to the 4th episode of BrewTalk, and in this episode we'll talk about this past week in Brewers baseball. So, last week the Brewers started off the week in Kansas City, where they won 2 in a 2-game set. They beat Kansas City both times in the 2-game series. Then they headed over to Chicago, and things took a turn for the worse. Their 8-game winning streak went kaboom, and they got swept by the Cubs at Wrigley Field, much to the excitement of many hopeful Cubs fans out there, that's for sure. So the Brewers, not only were they swept by the Cubs, but they were shut out 3 times in that 4-game series, and it was quite a disaster on offense in that entire series. So yeah, it's really not been the best week for the Brewers. They did have the 8-game winning streak, but after that, I mean, really, it just took a nosedive. But, I mean, it's something about the Cubs, I really don't know what it is, that just causes the Brewers to go into shutdown mode or something, especially on offense. The pitching for the Brewers was fantastic, by the way. Many great starts. I don't think the Cubs scored more than 3 runs in a game in that entire series. But the offense, we were shut out 3 times in a 4-game series. That cannot happen. I don't care how reliant you are on the home run ball or anything like that, which, by the way, can be very frustrating at times, especially when you're not hitting the home runs. And the Brewers are definitely a home run hitting ball club right now, and I'd really like for them to move away from that. But when those home runs are not being hit, it can be quite a struggle on the offensive end. And, I mean, those Cubs starting pitchers were just mowing down the Brewers. And the Cubs starting pitching in this series had a 0 ERA against the Brewers, and that is very impressive. So it was not the best of weekends for the Brewers, but the good news is that we don't have to face the Cubs again for a while now. We've got the Reds coming up here tonight, the first game at 6:10 Central Time in Cincinnati, and the Brewers always play super well in Great American Ballpark. They always manage to put up a lot of runs, and they're facing a lefty tonight. So, I mean, I think this dry spell on offense is going to end pretty quickly. But, I mean, the Cubs pitching, they're good, but, I mean, they haven't been that good outside of the games that they've pitched against the Brewers. I think the most runs the Brewers have scored in a game against the Cubs have been 5, and that was in the 1 win where Arcia walked them off. Other than that, the Brewers are 1-7 versus the Cubs this season. And that's not really very very ideal for the Brewers, because the Cubs, obviously, we're going to be fighting with them all season long for the division, as we will be with the Cardinals as well. So it was not the best of weeks for the Brewers, but the good news is we have a chance to turn it around. So, and it starts in Cincinnati tonight. We gotta take care of business in Cincinnati. I think winning 2 out of 3 would be ideal. A sweep would be nice as well, but we've got to get things back on track. And I mean, we've built ourselves a sizable distance for 500 too over this stretch. So I guess you could say we could afford to be swept. I mean, it's not like we don't like to be swept, but if we were to get swept, I mean, we can afford to get swept. I mean, it's April, guys. It's still April. A lot of people forget that. It's nothing to freak out over. It's still April. Just calm down with everything for right now. As Travis Shaw said on Twitter yesterday, CHILL, taking a page out of Aaron Rodgers' notebook. CHILL, chill. It is going to be just fine in Milwaukee, and I think that the Brewers will still be competing for a division title this year, regardless of whether they get swept in a series in April or not. So, anyways, guys, that's all I have to say in this episode. I'm sure the Brewers will get it back on track against the Cincinnati Reds. The Reds are terrible. Their pitching is terrible. Their offense is terrible, and the Brewers have a knack for hitting really well against the Reds, especially on the road at Great American Ballpark. So, anyways, guys, that's all I have to say. Thanks for watching. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.